All right. Happy Thanksgiving.
Miles obviously loves to relishes the opportunity to go up against the best of the best, and obviously Trent's one. How do you kind of balance, his desire to face those guys with what what the team needs in terms of moving them around, trying to find the best matchups?
Yeah, I mean that's Hall of Fame versus Hall of Fame right there. That's that's the NFL marquee matchup right there. Yeah, we move Miles around quite a bit, and we have over the years, maybe a little bit more so this year. So we're going to continue in the same vein.
A couple years ago when you guys played the 49ers, we asked you about going up against Kyle Shanahan offenses and your record against them, and you talked about it's not like a chess match. There's a human element. So I guess what is that element going into this latest iteration?
Yeah, when it's all said and done, it's not Jim Schwartz against Kyle Shanahan. It's players versus players, and our job is to try to put players in good position and let them go out and execute and have play with fundamentals and win the game. Our job to provide structure. I know this. This is always one of my hardest weeks of preparation because I mean Kyle's one of the best in the business and has been for a long time. And a lot of times you'll have something that's like, okay, that really looks good against this, but yeah, it doesn't look good against that, and it makes you defend every part of the field. He uses his personnel really well. Very challenging to be able to go. But when it's all said and done, this is a player's game, and I think we can probably make a little too much of people behind the scenes, structuring schemes and calling plays and things like that. This is a player's game. Our job is to put him in good position. Kyle's one of the best in the business at doing that for his players, so we'll have to do the same.
In addition to the talent, just the volume of touches that he gets, how does that stress you guys?
Yeah, gone against him a long time since he was in Carolina. Unique skill set, running back, just as skilled as a wide receiver. I mean, if he only played slot receiver, he'd be one of the best slot receivers in the NFL. And there's a lot of things that Christian does that reminds me of my old days here with the Browns with Eric Metcalf. Very similar and things. I say probably McCaffrey has a little more inside run ability. Both of them really talented in the passing game, both talented on the perimeter. McCaffrey can also run inside and run with power. So obviously we're going to have to know where 23 is, try to limit his touches. It's hard to limit him when he's on like 400 plus touch pace and 2,500 yard pace and things like that. It's a tough challenge.
Go ahead. You go.
You talked about the marquee matchup between Trent Williams and Miles. Kind of what does it say about Miles that someone like Trent Williams is saying he's losing sleep over thinking about having to block him?
Yeah, it's a sign of respect. I mean, like a lot of things go into NFL and, people, social media, and there's, a lot of things back and forth in the actual media and all kinds of different things. But, I think the thing that gets overlooked in this game is the respect that players have for each other. And, when they're on the field, they respect talent, they respect effort, they respect consistency and things like that. And both of those players have done that over their career. I've gone against Trent Williams a long time, might be the best, if not the best left tackle, one of the very best left tackles that this league has seen since he's been in the league.
Two things real quick. In a season when you guys only have 3 victories right now and are still trying to kind of get where you want to go, the sack record for Miles, is that something that is such a great thing for you guys as a team and as a defense to have him on pace to achieve something like that?
Yeah, I mean, I think if we get to that, we'll celebrate it then. I think the thing that Miles has done a good job with, and our whole D-line and defense has done a good job with, has just been focusing on the now and that particular game, not an eye toward, well, what happens if this happens? And, what's going to happen when we get there. It literally is the game in front of us, and I think that's one of the reasons that we've been able to maintain that kind of a pace. And I know a lot of people take pride in our ability. A lot of our players and coaches take pride in our ability to rush the passer, to create tackles for losses, to stop the run, all those different things. Like, you guys know, when I talk about Miles, most of the things I say I'm most proud of him with is the way he plays the run. And, and whatever, a tackle for a loss for 4 yards on first down, or sack for 4 yards on first down. It affects the game pretty much exact same way. And I think that all those guys, including Miles, have done a good job of keeping their eyes on the immediate focus. And if we do a good job with that, then certain things will come down the road.
Is, in addition to him being a strong candidate or a favorite right now for NFL Defensive Player of the Year, which they usually don't give it to somebody that isn't on a winning team, but I wonder your thoughts about that. But what about beyond that? I mean, shouldn't he be challenging for MVP, NFL MVP this year too?
Well, he certainly has those kind of credentials. I'm not a voter. I don't really know what goes in all those things. I think you'd be hard pressed to find a more valuable player in the NFL. And I think a little bit falls into some of the things that come out, like Player of the Week and things like that. Miles had 5 sacks in one game, 4 sacks in another, a bunch of tackles for losses, really dominating play, and didn't win those awards. Because we had lost the game, probably. I don't know. We won this last one. He won. So, winning certainly has a lot to do with it. But, when you're talking about most valuable player, it's tough to keep him out of that conversation.
About the challenges that Kyle Shanahan's office presents. Obviously, they're well known for all the motion that they run. I think second in the league in terms of that. How much is that a point of emphasis for you guys, just making sure guys' eyes are in the right place, they're not kind of getting tricked by some of that eye candy type
Yeah, you could probably dial back to Miami week and the same conversations we had, because, a couple of years ago was a little bit more unique what San Fran was doing in some of their motions. And, some of their tree has done some of that, including Mike down in Miami. But other offensive coordinators have copied it, so it has given us more opportunities to work on it. But it's certainly, like I said, the scheme is extremely challenging, not just from a schematic standpoint, but from a personnel standpoint, the way they use all their guys. So, obviously the ability to counter all those motions, a big part of that is having your eyes correct and good communication and things that we did a really good job in Miami with when we played Miami. So we'll have to do the same in this game.
Do you feel like that was Mason's best all-around game against the Raiders? And do you feel like he's getting much more comfortable just in the system, attacking, kind of shifting from what he did at Michigan to what he's doing in your system?
Yeah, he's certainly on the rise. I don't think his best game's happened yet. But he's a very instinctive player. He's a very smart player, and he's worked really hard to work his movement skills, and not at the expense of his hand strength and his point of attack ability. And I'm really proud of what he's done and the contribution that he's made. But I would say his best game is yet to come. Love for it to be Sunday.
You look at Kittle, obviously he's been doing it for a long time. What makes him able to still be playing at such a high level?
Toughness. Guy is, we talk about the respect that players have for each other. Coaches can have respect for players. I love the way that guy plays. He plays with great effort in the run game as well as the passing game. There's a lot of tight ends that maybe they do one or the other. He's unselfish. He'll stay in the protection. A lot of those guys want to get out in the route and get their ball. He's very unselfish when it comes to that. He's really strong running after the catch. He's hard to bring down. He's got great hands. Just a great player and a great challenge for us. But lot of respect for that guy because of his unselfishness and his toughness that he shows on the field.
See Rockford throwing 3 interceptions like he did in that game on Monday night. Do you guys' eyes get wide heading into this game?
I mean, I hope our eyes stay where they're supposed to stay and we concentrate on doing our job and not trying to replicate what happened in a Monday night game or something like that. I think sometimes we can get a little trouble. When we execute our scheme, when we play with effort and physicality, plays like that come. And that's what we'll keep our concentration on.
Been kind of the hallmark for them. It's not so strong as it maybe it wasn't years past, but it's still something that they pride themselves on. For you, is that an emphasis of just the pure fundamentals of wrapping guys up, tackling, not letting them break free?
Yeah, I mean it's that as well as team defense and effort and finish and things like that. There's field might be sloppy too, so it just puts more of an emphasis on technique, but also pursuit and knowing what your help is and getting 11 guys to the ball. And I hate to keep referencing it, but very similar to what we saw when we had to go against Miami. A lot of perimeter screens, a lot of quick passes, and it really put an emphasis on tackling. And one of the big things we did in that game was we tackled really well, and that helped set us up for the defensive performance that we had. So when it's all said and done, defenses are judged by their ability to tackle. If you tackle well, you're generally going to play good defense. If you don't tackle well, it's hard to overcome.